the cosmic castaway. The vast expanse of space stretched endlessly before Zara as she gazed out the viewscreen of her small craft. Stars twinkled like distant promises, each one a potential haven for the young Lyrian exile. Her slender fingers, each tipped with bioluminescent pads, danced across the ship's controls, coaxing a mournful melody from the vessel's systems. Zara's large, almond-shaped eyes, swirling with hues of violet and indigo, reflected the cosmic tapestry before her. Her skin, a pale lavender marked with intricate, phosphorescent patterns, pulsed gently with each beat of her twin hearts. The ship hummed in harmony with her touch, a symphony of technology and organic interface that was the hallmark of Lyrian engineering. As she sailed through the inky void, Zara's mind wandered to the world she had left behind. Lyria, a planet of endless music and rigid hierarchy, where every citizen was bound by the songs of their caste. Zara had dared to compose beyond her station, to sing melodies that challenged the very foundations of Lyrian society. For her defiance, she had been cast out, sent adrift among the stars with nothing but her ship and the clothes on her back. A sudden alarm jolted Zara from her reverie. Red warnings flashed across her console as the ship shuddered violently. Warning: gravitational anomaly detected. Course correction required, the ship's AI intoned, its voice a dispassionate counterpoint to Zara's rising panic. Zara's fingers flew across the controls, her body swaying in an intricate dance as she attempted to stabilize the craft. But the pull of the nearby star system was too strong, its planets arranging themselves in a cosmic orchestra that threatened to tear her ship apart. As alarms blared and systems failed, Zara caught sight of a blue-green orb spinning serenely amidst the chaos. Earth, a world she had only heard whispers of in forbidden songs, now loomed before her as both salvation and peril. The ship plummeted through Earth's atmosphere, a fiery comet heralding Zara's arrival. She fought for control, her melody of desperation lost in the roar of superheated air. The ground rushed up to meet her, a verdant canopy of trees reaching out like a living net. With a deafening crash, Zara's ship plowed into the forest floor. Metals screamed and trees splintered as the vessel carved a deep furrow through the woodland. When at last it came to rest, silence fell over the forest like a heavy curtain. Miles away, in a cluttered laboratory nestled at the edge of the forest, Dr. Elias Wright jolted awake. The astronomer had fallen asleep at his desk again, surrounded by star charts and complex equations. He pushed his glasses up his nose, blinking owlishly at the bank of monitors before him. One screen flashed insistently, displaying a trajectory of what appeared to be a meteor. But as Elias studied the data, his eyes widened with realization. This was no natural phenomenon. The object had changed course multiple times during its descent. Elias ran a hand through his disheveled gray hair, his mind racing with possibilities. For years, he had searched the skies for signs of extraterrestrial life, enduring the ridicule of his peers and the loss of his academic position. Now, on this ordinary night, it seemed the extraordinary had literally fallen into his lap. Grabbing a flashlight and his well-worn backpack, Elias hurried out into the night. The forest was alive with the sounds of disturbed wildlife, and a faint trail of smoke rose above the treetops, guiding him towards the crash site. As he pushed through the underbrush, Elias's heart pounded with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. What would he find? Proof of alien life, a mundane satellite, or something beyond his wildest imagination? The scene that greeted him as he entered the clearing took his breath away. A sleek, otherworldly craft lay half-buried in the earth, its hull gleaming with an iridescent sheen that seemed to shift colors in the moonlight. Scorch marks and deep gashes marred its surface, testament to the violence of its arrival. Elias approached cautiously, his flashlight beam playing over the strange symbols etched into the ship's hull. As he drew closer, a panel slid open with a soft hiss, revealing the craft's interior. Peering inside, Elias gasped. There, amidst a tangle of what looked like living circuitry, lay a figure that was undeniably alien yet hauntingly beautiful. Zara's unconscious form glowed faintly in the darkness, her chest rising and falling with shallow breaths. For a moment, Elias stood frozen, the weight of this discovery threatening to overwhelm him. Then his human compassion took over. Alien or not, this being was injured and in need of help. With gentle hands, Elias carefully extracted Zara from the wreckage. She was surprisingly light, her body cool to the touch. As he cradled her in his arms, Zara's eyes fluttered open briefly, swirling pools of color meeting his gaze before she slipped back into unconsciousness. Elias knew he had to act fast. The crash would not go unnoticed for long, and he shuddered to think what might happen if less open-minded individuals found Zara first. With a determination born of years of waiting for this moment, Elias began the arduous journey back to his lab, carrying with him a living testament to humanity's place in a larger cosmic community. As he walked, the forest seemed to come alive around them. Bioluminescent insects danced in the air, drawn to the faint glow emanating from Zara's skin. Leaves rustled with more than just the night breeze, as if the very plants were reaching out to touch this visitor from the stars. In his arms, Zara stirred fitfully, fragments of alien melodies escaping her lips. Elias marveled at the complex harmonies, unlike anything he had ever heard on Earth. It was as if the universe itself was singing through this strange, beautiful being. Finally, after what seemed like hours, Elias reached his lab. The cluttered space, once a testament to his isolated obsession, now felt like a sanctuary. Gently, he laid Zara on a makeshift bed, his mind already racing with questions and plans. As the first light of dawn began to paint the sky, Elias looked down at his unconscious guest. In that moment, he knew that everything had changed. The boundary between Earth and the cosmos had been breached, and he, Elias Wright, would be the bridge between two worlds. With trembling hands, Elias began to treat Zara's injuries, knowing that the greatest adventure of his life, and perhaps of all humanity, was just beginning. The cosmic castaway had found her port in the storm, and the song of the stars had finally reached Earth. Harmonies of hope. As the golden rays of dawn crept through the laboratory windows, Dr. Elias Wright found himself in a situation he had only dreamed about. Before him lay an extraterrestrial being, her lavender skin shimmering with bioluminescent patterns that pulsed in rhythm with her breathing. Zara, the cosmic castaway, was a living testament to the existence of intelligent life beyond Earth. Elias worked tirelessly, using his knowledge of xenobiology, a field once mocked by his peers, to treat Zara's injuries. Her alien physiology presented unique challenges, but Elias's years of theoretical study were finally put to practical use. He marveled at the way her wounds seemed to close themselves, aided by a strange, melodic humming that emanated from her unconscious form. As the day wore on, Elias's excitement was tempered by a growing sense of urgency. He knew it was only a matter of time before others discovered the crash site. The thought of Zara being taken away by government agencies, or worse, hostile forces, filled him with dread. Just as the sun began to set, Zara's eyes fluttered open. Swirling pools of violet and indigo focused on Elias, widening with a mixture of fear and wonder. She sat up abruptly, her mouth opening to emit a series of musical tones that reverberated through the lab, causing beakers to vibrate and computer screens to flicker. Elias raised his hands in a calming gesture. "It's okay," he said softly, trying to convey reassurance through his tone and body language. "You're safe here. I'm Dr. Elias Wright. I found you after your ship crashed." Zara tilted her head, her bioluminescent patterns shifting in complex patterns. She raised a hand, her elongated fingers brushing the air in front of Elias's face. To his amazement, he felt a gentle pressure in his mind, and suddenly he could understand her. "I am Zara," her voice echoed in his thoughts, a symphony of emotions and images accompanying the words. Third resonator of the Lyrian harmony, exile of the discordant melodies. "You saved me." Elias nodded, awestruck by this telepathic communication. "Yes, I brought you here to my laboratory, your ship. I'm afraid it was badly damaged in the crash." A wave of sorrow washed over Elias, emanating from Zara. He saw flashes of a world bathed in perpetual twilight, where towering crystal spires resonated with complex harmonies. He felt Zara's pain at being cast out, her fear of being stranded on this alien world. "I will help you," Elias said firmly, surprising himself with his conviction. "We'll find a way to contact your people, or if that's not possible, to make a home for you here." Zara's gratitude flooded through their mental link, bringing tears to Elias's eyes. As they began to communicate in earnest, sharing knowledge and experiences, neither of them noticed the black van that pulled up outside the laboratory, its tinted windows concealing the occupants within. Days passed in a whirlwind of discovery. Elias learned of the Lyrians, a species whose entire culture revolved around music. Their technology, their social structure, even their method of reproduction all centered around complex harmonies and resonances. Zara, in turn, marveled at the diversity of Earth's biosphere and the resilience of humanity. Together, they began to work on a way to repair Zara's ship, combining Lyrian harmonic technology with human ingenuity. Elias found himself pushing the boundaries of his scientific knowledge, guided by Zara's innate understanding of cosmic principles. As they worked, a deep bond began to form between them. Elias, once isolated and ridiculed for his beliefs, found in Zara a kindred spirit who understood his passion for the unknown. Zara, exiled from her own kind, discovered in Elias a compassion and acceptance she had never known among her own people. Their progress, however, did not go unnoticed. Strange signals began to interfere with Elias' equipment, and he often felt as if they were being watched. Zara's alien senses picked up disturbances in the local electromagnetic fields, signs of advanced surveillance technology at work. One evening, as they sat on the roof of the laboratory gazing at the stars, Zara suddenly stiffened. Her bioluminescent patterns flared brightly, and she turned to Elias with fear in her eyes. "They're coming," she whispered in his mind, her mental voice trembling. "My people, they found me." Elias felt a chill run down his spine. He had known this moment might come, but he hadn't expected it so soon. "Are you in danger?" he asked, already calculating how he might hide Zara. Zara's response was cut off by a deafening roar from above. A massive ship, far larger than Zara's small craft, descended from the clouds. Its surface rippled with colors and patterns, a visual representation of the complex harmonies that powered it. As Elias and Zara watched in awe, the ship came to a hover directly above the laboratory. A beam of shimmering energy shot down, enveloping them both. Elias felt a strange tingling sensation, and suddenly they were no longer on the roof, but in a vast chamber inside the Lyrian vessel. Before them stood a group of beings similar to Zara, but taller and adorned with intricate, glowing patterns that seemed to denote rank. Their leader, an imposing figure with patterns that pulsed with barely contained power, stepped forward. "Zara, discordant one," the leader's voice resonated in Elias's mind, a symphony of authority and judgment. "You have violated your exile by making contact with a pre-harmonic species. You will be brought back to Lyria for retuning." Elias felt Zara's terror through their mental link. Retuning, he realized, was tantamount to a complete personality erasure. Without thinking, he stepped in front of Zara, facing the Lyrian leader. "Wait," he shouted, his voice sounding harsh and discordant in the harmonic chamber. "You can't do this. Zara has done nothing wrong. She's been stranded here, and I've been helping her. If anything, I'm the one responsible for this contact." The Lyrian leader regarded Elias with a mixture of curiosity and disdain. "You dare to interfere in matters beyond your comprehension, human. Your species is barely able to grasp the fundamental harmonies of the universe." Elias stood his ground, emboldened by his desire to protect Zara. "Maybe we don't understand everything yet, but we're learning. Zara has shown me wonders I never imagined, and I've shown her the beauty of human creativity and adaptability. There's so much our species could learn from each other." As Elias spoke, something extraordinary began to happen. The harmonies that filled the chamber began to shift, incorporating new elements that seemed to resonate with his words. Zara, sensing the change, added her own voice to the symphony, her melody intertwining with the ship's ambient music. The Lyrian leader's eyes widened in surprise. "Impossible," they murmured. "The ship's harmonic core is accepting your discordant notes." Elias, not fully understanding what was happening but sensing its importance, pressed on. "Zara's music, her ideas, they're not a threat to your society. They're an opportunity for growth, for evolution. By casting her out, you're denying yourselves the chance to expand your understanding of the universe." As he spoke, Elias felt a strange sensation building within him. It was as if the music that permeated the ship was resonating with something deep inside his own being. Without knowing how, he began to hum, then to sing, his voice joining the complex harmonies around them. The chamber erupted in a cacophony of sound and light. Lyrian crew members rushed to their stations, trying to stabilize the ship's systems. But amidst the chaos, Elias and Zara stood calm, their voices blending in a duet that seemed to bridge the gap between their species. Gradually, the turbulence subsided. The ship's harmonies stabilized, but they were forever changed, now incorporating elements of human music and emotion. The Lyrian leader, visibly shaken, approached Elias and Zara. "In all our history," they said, their mental voice filled with awe, "we have never encountered a species capable of altering our harmonic reality. Perhaps we have been too hasty in our judgment." Elias felt a surge of hope. "Then you'll let Zara stay. You'll consider opening diplomatic relations with Earth." The leader was silent for a long moment, their bioluminescent patterns shifting in complex calculations. Finally, they nodded. "We will need time to consult the Great Chorus, but yes, Zara will be allowed to continue her work here under supervision, and we will open channels of communication with your world leaders." As the implications of this decision sank in, Elias felt overwhelmed. He had set out to prove the existence of alien life, but he had accomplished so much more. He had become the bridge between two civilizations, the catalyst for a new era of cosmic harmony. Zara's joy flowed through their mental link, a symphony of gratitude and affection. As they stood together on the alien ship, gazing down at the blue marble of Earth below, Elias knew that the greatest adventure of his life, and of all humanity, was just beginning. The harmonies of hope that they had created together would resonate across the stars, heralding a new age of interstellar cooperation and understanding. And at the heart of it all was the unlikely duo, a human scientist and an alien musician, whose friendship had changed the course of two civilizations forever. The galactic pursuit. The news of Earth's first official contact with an alien civilization spread like wildfire across the globe. Dr. Elias Wright and Zara, once outcasts in their respective societies, now found themselves at the center of a whirlwind of diplomatic negotiations, scientific breakthroughs, and cultural exchange. As dawn broke over the horizon, casting a golden glow across the landscape, Elias stood on the balcony of the newly established Interstellar Harmony Institute. The massive complex, a blend of human architecture and Lyrian harmonic design, hummed with activity even at this early hour. Zara joined him, her bioluminescent patterns pulsing with excitement. "The first human Lyrian concert is today," she said, her mental voice tinged with anticipation. "Are you ready to make history again, Elias?" Elias smiled, still marveling at how far they'd come in the months since that fateful night in his old laboratory. "As ready as I'll ever be," he replied, "though I'm not sure the world is prepared for what we're about to unleash." Their conversation was interrupted by a sudden commotion below. A sleek, black vehicle pulled up to the Institute's entrance, disgorging a group of stern-faced government officials. At their head was General Victoria Steele, the newly appointed liaison between Earth's governments and the Lyrian delegation. "Looks like we have company," Elias muttered, his smile fading. Despite the progress they'd made, there were still those who viewed the alien presence on Earth with suspicion and fear. As they made their way to the conference room, Elias and Zara could feel the tension in the air. The room was divided, with human officials on one side and Lyrian representatives on the other. General Steele stood at the head of the table, her posture rigid and her eyes sharp. "Dr. Wright, Zara," she nodded curtly. "We have a situation. Our deep space monitoring stations have detected a massive fleet of unknown origin approaching our solar system. They're not responding to any of our attempts at communication." The room erupted into a cacophony of voices and harmonic tones. Elias felt a chill run down his spine. He turned to Zara, whose patterns had shifted to a deep, worried purple. "Could it be more of your people?" he asked telepathically. Zara's response was tinged with fear. "No, the Lyrian High Chorus would never authorize such a large expedition. This is something else." As the arguments in the room grew more heated, a young technician burst in, her face pale. "General, we're receiving a transmission from the approaching fleet. It's being broadcast on all frequencies." The room fell silent as a holographic display flickered to life in the center of the table. A figure materialized, unlike anything Elias had ever seen. It appeared to be composed of shifting geometric patterns, pulsing with an otherworldly energy. When it spoke, its voice reverberated through the room, causing the very air to vibrate. "Inhabitants of Sol 3 and Lyrian outsiders, we are the Harmonix Collective. Your dissonant melodies have disturbed the cosmic symphony for too long. Prepare yourselves for assimilation into the Great Chord." The transmission cut off abruptly, leaving the room in stunned silence. General Steele was the first to recover. "How long do we have before they reach Earth?" she demanded. The technician swallowed hard. "At their current speed, less than 72 hours. Elias felt the weight of every eye in the room upon him and Zara. They had brought their civilizations together, and now they were facing a threat beyond anything they had imagined. "We need to evacuate," one of the human officials said, panic evident in his voice. "We can't possibly stand against a force like that." "Evacuation is impossible," a Lyrian representative countered, her harmonic tones sharp with frustration. "There isn't enough time or resources to move even a fraction of Earth's population." As the arguments intensified, Elias felt a gentle pressure on his mind. He turned to see Zara, her eyes swirling with determination. "Elias," she communicated silently, "I have an idea. It's dangerous, and it might not work, but it's the only chance we've got." Elias finished for her. He stood up, his movement catching everyone's attention. "General Steele, representatives of Earth and Lyria, we may have a solution, but we'll need everyone's cooperation, and we'll need to act fast." Over the next hour, Elias and Zara outlined their plan. It was audacious, combining cutting-edge human technology with Lyrian harmonic science in ways never before attempted. They proposed to create a massive, planet-wide harmonic field that would not only shield Earth from the Harmonix Collective's assimilation attempts, but also broadcast a message of unity and defiance across the galaxy. "It's insane," General Steele said, shaking her head. "But given our options, what do you need?" What followed was a frenzy of activity unlike anything Earth had ever seen. As news of the impending threat spread, people across the globe set aside their differences, united in the face of cosmic peril. Massive harmonic resonators, hastily constructed using Lyrian designs and human ingenuity, were erected at strategic points around the planet. Satellites were repurposed to amplify the harmonic field, their orbits carefully calculated to create a globe-spanning network. Elias and Zara worked tirelessly, coordinating teams of scientists, engineers, and musicians from both species. They had less than 3 days to turn their ambitious plan into reality, and failure meant the end of both their civilizations. As the deadline approached, Elias found himself standing atop the highest tower of the Interstellar Harmony Institute. Before him stretched a sea of humanity, millions strong, gathered to lend their voices to the cosmic chorus. Beside him stood Zara, her bioluminescent patterns glowing with nervous energy. "Are you ready?" he asked, taking her hand in his. Zara nodded, her mental voice a mix of determination and fear. Together, Elias, as always. As the first ships of the Harmonix Collective entered the solar system, Elias and Zara raised their voices in unison. Around the globe, billions of humans and Lyrians joined them, their combined melody rising to the heavens. The harmonic resonators hummed to life, amplifying the sound and transforming it into a shimmering field of energy that enveloped the Earth. Satellites beamed the signal outward, carrying humanity's defiant song to the stars. The Harmonix fleet faltered, their ships buffeted by waves of harmonic energy unlike anything they had encountered before. The lead ship, a massive construct of geometric perfection, shuddered as it attempted to penetrate Earth's newly formed defenses. Elias felt the strain of maintaining the harmonic field, sweat beading on his brow. Beside him, Zara's patterns flickered with the effort of channeling so much energy, but they held firm, their voices never wavering. Just when it seemed they could hold out no longer, something extraordinary happened. The Harmonix ships began to resonate with Earth's harmonic field, their perfect geometric forms shifting and morphing. A new transmission cut through the cosmic symphony. Inhabitants of Sol 3 and Lyria, the voice of the Harmonix Collective echoed, but now it was tinged with wonder rather than menace. Your harmony, it is unlike any we have encountered. We wish to learn. As the realization of what they had accomplished washed over them, Elias and Zara collapsed into each other's arms, exhausted but triumphant. Around the world, cheers erupted as the news spread. Earth had not only survived, but had opened a dialogue with yet another cosmic civilization. In the days that followed, representatives from Earth, Lyria, and the Harmonix Collective met to discuss the future. The threat of assimilation was replaced by the promise of collaboration, with each civilization bringing its unique perspective to the cosmic symphony. Elias and Zara found themselves hailed as heroes, the architects of a new era of galactic cooperation. As they stood together, watching the sun set on a changed Earth, Elias couldn't help but marvel at the journey that had brought them to this point. "What do you think comes next?" he asked Zara, his mind still reeling from the events of the past few days. Zara's response came not in words, but in a melody, a beautiful, complex harmony that spoke of hope, adventure, and endless possibilities. As Elias joined his voice to hers, he knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together, their friendship a testament to the power of harmony in the face of cosmic discord. The galactic pursuit had led not to conflict, but to a greater understanding. And as their song echoed across the stars, Elias and Zara knew that this was just the beginning of humanity's grand adventure in the cosmic symphony of worlds. The dawn of a new era had broken over Earth, bathing the planet in the iridescent glow of interstellar cooperation. Dr. Elias Wright and Zara, the unlikely duo who had orchestrated humanity's cosmic debut, found themselves at the epicenter of a cultural and scientific revolution unlike any in history. As the first rays of sunlight kissed the gleaming spires of New Harmony City, a metropolis born from the fusion of human and alien architecture, Elias stood before a mirror, adjusting the collar of his ceremonial robe. The garment, a seamless blend of earth fabrics and Lyrian bioluminescent fibers, pulsed gently in sync with his heartbeat. Nervous, Zara's melodic voice echoed in his mind as she entered the room. Her form shimmered with excitement, patterns of light dancing across her lavender skin. Elias chuckled, running a hand through his now silver hair. Terrified, he admitted, "I never thought I'd be addressing representatives from a dozen different worlds." Today marked the opening of the first galactic concordance, a gathering of species from across the known universe. Earth, once a backwater planet on the fringes of the galaxy, now stood as a symbol of unity and innovation. As they made their way to the grand auditorium, Elias marveled at the diversity of beings filling the streets. Crystalline entities from the silicon world of Quartz Prime floated alongside the gaseous nebulites. Towering arboreans, their bodies a marvel of sentient plant life, conversed with the microscopic quantum collective, whose entire civilization existed in a single drop of exotic matter. The auditorium itself was a testament to the new age of cooperation. Its design allowed for beings of all shapes, sizes, and atmospheric requirements to coexist comfortably. As Elias took the stage, he felt the weight of history on his shoulders. Friends, neighbors, fellow seekers of harmony, he began, his voice amplified and translated into a myriad of languages and sensory inputs. A mere decade ago, we stood alone in the cosmos, unaware of the grand symphony playing out among the stars. Today, we gather as equal partners in that cosmic orchestra. As Elias spoke, Zara began to hum softly, her melody weaving through his words. The assembled delegates felt a stirring in their hearts or equivalent organs, a sense of connection that transcended biological differences. But our journey is far from over, Elias continued, his voice growing passionate. Even now, as we celebrate our unity, there are those who seek to sow discord. The void sirens, with their entropy-inducing songs, threaten the very fabric of our reality. The chromatic scourge continues to consume entire star systems, reducing vibrant worlds to monochromatic husks. A murmur of concern rippled through the audience. These threats were all too real, looming specters in the newly discovered galactic community. Yet I stand before you today not in fear, but in hope, Elias declared. For in our diversity, we have found our greatest strength. Each of our species brings a unique note to the cosmic chorus. Together, we can compose a symphony powerful enough to overcome any challenge. As if on cue, Zara's humming grew louder, joined by the resonant tones of the Lyrian delegation. The crystalline chimes of the Quartz Prime representatives added a sparkling counterpoint, while the deep, rumbling bass of the Arboreans provided a solid foundation. One by one, each species added its voice to the growing melody. The Nebulites contributed ethereal whispers that sent shivers down Elias's spine, while the Quantum Collective's contribution was felt more than heard, a thrumming energy that permeated the very air. Elias felt tears welling in his eyes as the music swelled around him. This was more than just a demonstration of unity. It was the birth of something entirely new. A galactic culture, forged in the crucible of cooperation and mutual understanding. As the final notes faded away, a profound silence fell over the auditorium. Elias looked out at the assembled delegates, seeing in their eyes or sensory organs the same wonder and hope that he felt. "This," he said softly, his voice thick with emotion, "this is our weapon against the darkness. This harmony, this unity of purpose. With it, there is no challenge we cannot overcome, no distance we cannot bridge." The applause that followed was like nothing Earth had ever experienced. It was a celestial cacophony, a joyous riot of sound and sensation that seemed to shake the very foundations of the planet. As Elias and Zara left the stage, they were immediately surrounded by a throng of delegates, each eager to share their thoughts and pledge their support to the newly formed Galactic Concordance. "Dr. Wright, Dr. Wright," a voice cut through the crowd. Elias turned to see a young human reporter, her eyes shining with excitement. "What's next for Earth and the Concordance?" Elias smiled, looking to Zara before answering. "Next, we reach for the stars not as conquerors, but as explorers and peacekeepers. We have a universe to discover and a harmony to maintain." As the day wore on, Elias found himself in endless meetings and discussions, laying the groundwork for the most ambitious project in human history. The Harmonic Flotilla, a vast array of ships designed to spread the message of unity across the galaxy, while also standing ready to defend against cosmic threats. Late that night, Elias stood on the balcony of his apartment, gazing up at the star-filled sky. Zara joined him, her presence a comforting warmth at his side. "We've come so far," he mused, his mind wandering back to that fateful night in his old laboratory. "Sometimes I can hardly believe it's real." Zara's response came not in words, but in a gentle melody that spoke of journeys taken and adventures yet to come. As Elias listened, he felt the familiar stirring of excitement in his chest. The Symphony of Worlds was just beginning, its opening notes ringing out across the cosmos. And as Earth took its place in the grand orchestration of the universe, Elias knew that the greatest movement was yet to be written. With Zara by his side and the combined knowledge of a dozen worlds at his fingertips, Elias Wright, once a ridiculed dreamer, now stood ready to conduct humanity's ascension to the stars. The cosmic opus awaited, and every being in the galaxy was invited to play their part. As the first light of a new day painted the horizon, Elias and Zara shared a look of determination. The Galactic Concordance was more than just an alliance, it was a promise. A promise to face the unknown together, to challenge the darkness with the light of unity, and to write the next chapter of cosmic history with the ink of hope and the quill of harmony. The Symphony of Worlds played on, and the universe itself seemed to hold its breath, waiting to see what marvels this unprecedented collaboration would produce. For Elias, Zara, and countless beings across the galaxy, the greatest adventure was just beginning. The Universal Chorus. The Harmonic Flotilla, a breathtaking armada of starships that blended the best of a dozen alien technologies, hung in high Earth orbit like a constellation of man-made stars. At its center, the flagship Cosmic Sonata pulsed with an otherworldly energy, its hull shimmering with Lyrian bioluminescence and etched with intricate quantum circuitry gifted by the nebulites. On the bridge of the Cosmic Sonata, Dr. Elias Wright stood before a holographic display of the galaxy, his silver hair glowing in the soft blue light. Beside him, Zara's lavender skin rippled with patterns of excitement and anticipation. Final systems check complete, Doctor, announced Captain Aria Chen, her voice steady despite the historical weight of the moment. The flotilla is ready for departure. Elias nodded, a lump forming in his throat. This was it, the culmination of years of work, the realization of humanity's wildest dreams. The Harmonic Flotilla will embark on a 5-year mission to explore the farthest reaches of known space, spreading the message of the Galactic Concordance and standing ready to face any cosmic threats. Thank you, Captain Elias said, his voice carrying across the bridge. Zara, would you do the honors? Zara stepped forward, her eyes swirling with emotion. She began to sing, her voice resonating with a melody that seemed to touch the very fabric of space-time. As her song built to a crescendo, the engines of the Cosmic Sonata hummed to life, harmonizing perfectly with her alien music. Across the flotilla, ships of all shapes and sizes powered up, their diverse technologies united by the underlying principles of harmonic science that Elias and Zara had pioneered. The sight was awe-inspiring, a testament to what could be achieved when different species worked together in cosmic harmony. As the flotilla prepared to depart, an incoming transmission cut through the anticipation on the bridge. The holographic display shifted, revealing the stern face of Admiral Santher of the Chromatic Armada. Dr. Wright, the Admiral's voice boomed, translated from a series of color pulses. We've detected an anomaly at the edge of the Andromeda Galaxy. The void sirens are on the move, and they're headed straight for a populated system. Elias felt a chill run down his spine. The void sirens, cosmic entities of pure anti-harmony, were one of the greatest threats the Galactic Concordance faced. Their entropy-inducing songs could unravel the very fabric of reality if left unchecked. Change of plans, Captain Elias said, his voice resolute. Set a course for the Andromeda Galaxy. Maximum harmonic drive. The bridge erupted into action as the new coordinates were relayed across the flotilla. Zara's song shifted, taking on a more urgent tempo that resonated through the ship's systems. With a flash of prismatic light, the harmonic flotilla vanished from Earth orbit, streaking across the cosmos faster than any human vessel had ever traveled before. As they journeyed through the star-studded void, Elias couldn't help but marvel at how far they'd come. Just a few short years ago, he had been a lonely scientist dreaming of alien contact. Now, he stood at the helm of the most advanced fleet in the galaxy, ready to face a threat that endangered all of creation. The journey to Andromeda was fraught with challenges. The flotilla navigated treacherous space anomalies, relying on the combined expertise of its multi-species crew to overcome each obstacle. They encountered new civilizations along the way, some welcoming, others hostile, but always managing to find common ground through the universal language of harmony. As they approached the threatened system, the crew of the Cosmic Sonata could already hear the discordant wails of the void sirens. The sound sent shivers through every being on board, a cosmic fingernail on the chalkboard of reality. All ships, assume defensive formation Gamma, Captain Chen ordered, her voice steady despite the palpable tension on the bridge. Prepare to engage harmonic shields on my mark. Elias turned to Zara, seeing his own determination reflected in her swirling eyes. Are you ready? He asked, knowing that what they were about to attempt had never been done before. Zara nodded, her bioluminescent patterns pulsing with resolve. Together, Elias, as always. As the void sirens came into view, writhing masses of darkness that seemed to devour the very starlight around them, Elias and Zara took their positions at the heart of the Cosmic Sonata. Around them, representatives from every species in the galactic concordance gathered, each ready to add their unique voice to the coming symphony. Now, Captain Chen's voice rang out. Zara began to sing, her voice pure and clear against the cacophony of the void sirens. Elias joined her, his human voice blending seamlessly with her alien tones. One by one, the other members of the concordance added their voices, the crystalline chimes of the quartz prime, the rumbling bass of the Arborians, the quantum whispers of the nebulites. The harmonic flotilla lit up like a newborn star, each ship amplifying and broadcasting the multi-species chorus. The song spread across space, a wave of pure harmony that crashed against the discordant shriek of the void sirens. For a moment, it seemed as if the darkness would overwhelm them. The void sirens pressed forward, their entropy-inducing wails threatening to tear apart the very ships that opposed them. But Elias and Zara held firm, their voices rising above the chaos. Their songs spoke of unity in diversity, of hope in the face of despair, of the unbreakable bonds forged between different species united in a common cause. Slowly, inexorably, the tide began to turn. The void sirens' advance faltered, their discordant shrieks giving way to the overwhelming harmony of the galactic concordance. Cracks of light began to appear in their dark forms, growing larger and brighter with each passing moment. With a final triumphant swell of music, the void sirens shattered like dark glass, dissipating into harmless particles that twinkled like stardust in the light of the safe system's sun. As the last notes of their cosmic symphony faded away, a stunned silence fell over the flotilla. They had done it. They had faced one of the greatest threats in the universe and emerged victorious. Cheers erupted across every ship, a celebratory cacophony that was music to Elias's ears. He turned to Zara, tears of joy streaming down his face, and found her glowing with an inner light he had never seen before. "We did it, Elias," she said, her mental voice filled with awe. "We really did it." As news of their victory spread across the galaxy, the harmonic flotilla found itself at the center of a new age of galactic cooperation. Species that had once been bitter enemies now sought to join the concordance, inspired by the power of harmony they had witnessed. The threat of the void sirens was not entirely eliminated. There would always be forces of chaos in the universe, but the galactic concordance now stood ready to face any challenge with the strength of unity and the power of harmony. As the Cosmic Sonata began its journey back to Earth, Elias stood once more before the holographic galaxy display. But now, instead of distant, unknown stars, he saw a cosmos filled with friends and allies, a universe of infinite possibility. Zara joined him, her hand slipping into his. "Where to next?" she asked, her eyes twinkling with the light of distant stars. Elias smiled, feeling the familiar thrill of discovery stirring in his heart. "Everywhere," he replied. "We have a whole universe to explore and a song of unity to share with every corner of creation." As the harmonic flotilla set course for new adventures, Elias knew that this was just the beginning. The universal chorus had only just begun its grand performance, and every being in the cosmos was invited to add their voice to the ever-growing symphony of life, love, and cosmic harmony. The stars themselves seemed to shine brighter as the flotilla moved on, a testament to the enduring power of unity, the triumph of harmony over discord, and the unbreakable bond between a curious human scientist and the alien musician who had changed his life, and the fate of the entire universe forever.